This human trafficking OF star, who was charged with a slew of other crimes, has accepted a plea deal. This is a person that likes to hang around with young girls and possibly traffic them, can't keep his hands to himself, doesn't obey the law because he's violating a no contact order, threatens people, and then he's repeatedly committing aggravated assault. And just to quickly go over how he got these charges, it appears that in January 2024, a woman was sleeping in the Van Buren Police Department. And I don't know if this woman actually gave the police any information other than saying Michael Hall and his girlfriend came and picked her up in Kentucky or whatever to live with them full-time here. Now, she was here like a day whenever Michael Hall was abusing his girlfriend, and this lady eventually was like, okay, that's enough, leave her alone, and tried to kind of get in the middle of Michael Hall abusing his girlfriend, and Michael Hall got mad and was like, you can get your stuff and get out. The woman didn't have any place to go, really, so she went to the police department. Then in May, the girlfriend, AP, contacted police. AP contacted police saying that Michael Hall had beaten her. He had a history of being physically violent with her, including choking her to the point of her almost passing out, picking her up off the bed by her arm and leg and throwing her in the floor, chasing her through the house, pinning her on the kitchen floor and bouncing her head off the tile like a basketball. That's a quote. She told police that she had tried to go in the bathroom to get away from him, protect herself, and that her hands or arms or whatever was in the bathroom door, like in the way of the door closing, and he repeatedly closed the door on her hands like 10 times. That he also bounced her head off the bathroom wall repeatedly, that he would straight up punch her in the face. I mean, and choking seems like a favorite thing of his. The woman also explained to police that Michael Hall is a person that got an account on OF in 2023. He was already abusing AP at that time, and he came to AP and was basically like, we're going to start filming corn for OF. It wasn't a question. It was, we're doing this. So Michael set up an account for himself on OF, but an account was also set up for AP on OF. But all of the funds were going into an account that only Michael had access to, that was only in Michael's name. And if AP didn't want to film, well, that was too freaking bad, because Michael was going to throw a fit or beat her until she did film. And so that's where that trafficking comes from. That's what he's doing, right? That's what it's called. Then on May 29th, a woman named JM contacted a friend of hers and said that she needed help getting back to Florida. JM had been living with Michael Hall and he was abusing her. Now, when police got to the home, JM told police that everything was fine, like she didn't know why her friend called the police. But a few days later, the police were called again. They went out to the home and JM answered the door just bawling and ran to the police and told the police everything, that he had headbutted her twice, and she was taken to the police station so that she could communicate with police further. And that is when police learned that the reason JM didn't tell police what was going on a few days earlier when they were out at the home was because the police never separated her from Michael Hall. And literally after the police left that day, Michael Hall told her that he was going to unalive her. There were text messages on JM's phone from a argument that she and Michael Hall had, where he tells her, if my phone goes off one more time, I'm going to smash it in your effing face. And also, like, I will literally kill you. She said that he has threatened to unalive her several times, especially with a firearm, and choked her several times. Then at the end of June, a victim advocate contacted police on behalf of JM again and a friend of JM's. It seemed that after Michael Hall's arrest over the charges against JM, a protective order had been issued. JM did go back to Michael Hall's home to visit him a few times. He continued being physically violent with her and continued contacting her through messages. While she was sitting there talking to police, he literally sent her a Snapchat. But she said that she and her friend were at Michael's home and there was like a rubber mallet that was sitting on a desk, and he picked up the rubber mallet and held it over her head and told her that if he was going to go to jail, he was going to make it worth his while and unalive her. Anyway, you know why I think Michael Hall has an issue with putting his hands on women? Because he's a bitch. Regardless, the prosecuting attorney of Crawford County made a post on the Book of Faces today saying that yesterday Michael Hall, aka Apollo Stone, pled guilty to attempted human trafficking, 2 counts of aggravated assault, 1 count of terroristic threatening. He will now be considered a habitual offender for all future criminal activity. Hall received, drumroll please, 120 days in the county jail and was placed on a 10-year suspended sentence with conditions. He cannot film, participate in, direct, upload, or transmit corn of any matter and cannot sell or buy corn. He also cannot entice, ask, suggest, or otherwise solicit persons to participate in corn. Michael Hall was making hundreds of thousands of dollars selling corn depicting legal age girls acting like teenagers. He was also physically violent with them when they would not create content. Here's the opinion nobody asked for. I usually like the sentences that come from Kevin Holmes, but this left me incredibly disappointed. I feel like we could do better than this. I feel like okay, here's the thing. A person who is willing to choke another person like this and continually threaten their lives. These are generally the people that snap and actually unalive someone in a domestic violent relationship. I mean, anybody could snap, but the choking is like an actual scary sign there. And this man has a real bad habit of it. So this is the update. As part of the conditions of Michael Hall's suspended sentence, he was supposed to remove any and all inappropriate images that he had on his OF or any other social media of the victim in the case, JM. He had until a certain date to do that, and he was the one with access to the account that could remove those images. He also was not supposed to participate in any other pornography or trying to get anyone to film or anything like that. Those were circumstances that Michael Hall agreed to when he accepted the plea deal. Michael Hall went out, did not delete any images of JM, and not only that, but he was attempting to and also filming again. Those were violations of his suspended sentence. Those are the reasons why he was rearrested, why his probated sentence or his suspended sentence was revoked. So in order to get to the 32 years, each case that Michael Hall had was the suspended sentence was put in place, and those sentences were ran consecutively. That gets to 32 years. It's I know that his lawyers, it looks like, are appealing this decision, but Michael Hall knew the circumstances that he was agreeing to. His attorneys knew the circumstances that they were agreeing to when he accepted that sentence. And then he went out and continued to do what he wanted to do. And it doesn't surprise me. Michael Hall is full of himself. Yes, I was disappointed with the initial sentence, but Also, I think that the prosecutor probably knew that Michael Hall was going to go out and continue the same activity. Michael Hall couldn't help but come to the comment section on videos about himself and brag about his own photos. I mean, that's just how Michael Hall, Apollo Stone, was.